Hi, I'm Rabbi Alon Ferenczi, speaking to you from Heska Emunah Synagogue in Knoxville, Tennessee, as part of a continuing series of Torah talks delivered midweek to think ahead to your weekend, your Shabbat. This week we're reading Parashat Va-Yiggash, the denouement of the Joseph story towards the end of the book of Genesis. Of course, this is when Joseph reveals himself to his brothers, and they recoil at various points in fear of the revenge he might take upon them. To which in chapter 45 of Genesis, Joseph calms their nerves, noting to them that they intended to do wrong, but God turned it all to the right, that God sent Joseph ahead to ensure the survival of their family, of the Israelites, and of course, the Jewish people to come. Joseph sees God's divine hand, the hand of providence, evident in his enslavement, his imprisonment, his rise to power and falls and rises again. Where do you see God in your life? Frankly, candidly for myself, I find this to be the hardest piece of the journey of faith, the question of putting God into places that might seem more simply resolved without God's presence. The idea that God is active in my life, that God has a plan for me, a design, that the things we do have the small, still touch of God, that nobody, not even the rain, has such small hands as to allow us and give us the fortitude to move forward in life. That God is with us in the car, maybe sometimes driving the car, maybe a passenger, maybe the navigator. That we would often ignore God's presence at our peril, for our pleasure, I don't know. But it's hard. It's a hard struggle of faith. God is, to quote Neil Gaiman, God is where you put God. And I don't always know the right place to see God in my actions, to see God in the world around me, in the things that happen, in the events of one's life. There's a lot of ways to decide, a whole spectrum of evidences and importance and weight you might put on God's action and God's thumb on the scale in your life. Maybe there is no one right answer. We see Joseph's answer this week in the Torah. But what's yours? How often do you feel God? How often do you allow yourself to feel God? How often do you put God in the place of the events of your lives? Do you notice God's touch and God's providence and design in the shape of your lifetime? Shabbat Shalom. If you enjoy talks like this, please do like, share, and subscribe to Eclectic Cleric on YouTube. God bless.